Hello, it is Bunch of Codyness here, and last year I did a video called Types of RAs, so I figured, you know what, why not do a part 2 to that video, because you guys seem to really like it and I loved filming it and making it, so let's get started. Oh, but quick note for those of you who do not know what an RA is, basically if you attend university and you live on campus, you will have like these student leaders that live inside your building called RAs, and basically what they do is that they resolve conflicts, they plan programs, and they try to foster some sort of community inside your building. So in case if any of you guys didn't know what an RA was, now you know. Okay, now it's time to get started. Number 1, the Blossom. Now with this type of RA, you don't start off knowing them as an RA. They're just a friend of yours or a friend of a friend or a fellow resident, but deep down, you just know that they're meant for something greater. From the moment that you met them, there was some sort of spark about them. There was something different, and in a good way, You just get to know them across time, and you are in awe of how amazing they are, and one day they come up to you and they're just like, hey, I applied for being an RA, and deep down, you just know that they're gonna get it because they're such an amazing person and they have all the qualities. And then comes spring and then they come up to you like they did back in the fall, but this time they tell you, hey, I got the RA position, and you just beam with happiness because there are just so few things in life that are greater or as great as seeing your friends succeed. You just start off knowing them as like this tiny little seed back in the fall, but then spring comes along and then they grow and they blossom, and it's so amazing to see their journey and how far they've come and how proud you are of them. And honestly, I feel so blessed and privileged to have known so many blossoms throughout my time, even though I've only been in university for 2 years. And I remember them coming up to me and how happy I felt for them. I'm actually going to give a quick few shout outs, and that goes out to John, Melissa, Kyle, Darlene. This type of RA is for you guys. I'm so grateful that I got to see you guys go through the RA process and eventually get that RA position, and I'm so happy for you guys, and I'm really sorry in case I'm forgetting about any of my friends who got the RA position. But don't worry, this type of RA goes out to you guys as well, and yeah, if this one's about you, I love you guys. Number 2, the Wholesome. Okay, you know what? Straight up, scratch that. I'm going to straight up call this one the Steven, or maybe I should call it the Steven. Because if you haven't guessed already, this one is gonna be about my friend Steven. And let me tell you about Steven because he is the most wholesome person I know. Steven has like this soft gentleness that I have genuinely never seen before in pretty much everyone I've ever met. Like, I have met some soft, gentle, very kind-hearted people, but Steven takes the cake, okay? Steven genuinely cares about everyone he ever meets. Whenever Steven asks you how your day was, he says it in such a way and in such a tone that makes you feel genuinely cared about, and he makes you feel special. And he actually does want to know how your day was. Even if you've had like the worst day ever, he will sit there and listen to your problems because he cares about humanity that much. I know in my previous video I talked about a type of RA being called the Sunshine. Well, Steven is a whole galaxy. Well, minus the black holes, because Steven is just a pure being. If any of you guys play the video game Kingdom Hearts, or even just like have a basic understanding of it, basically there are these people called the Princesses of Heart, and they're these like embodiments of light that are like incorruptible of darkness. I do not play Kingdom Hearts, I just have some basic knowledge of it, but basically if Earth had Princesses of Heart, like I feel like Steven would be one because he emits that much light. He is just that pure and that wholesome and that good of a person. Like, you can spend 2 seconds with Steven and all of a sudden it's just like, boom, your skin is clear, you're well hydrated, your crops are flourishing, you have straight A's. Like, that is what being around Steven does to you. Like, I cannot describe how great of a person Steven is. Like, when I was scripting this video, I had such a hard time scripting Steven's part because he's just that amazing of a person. If there is one thing that will bring humanity together, it is probably Steven. I know this part of the video might be a little weird if any of you guys do not know Steven personally. Steven, if you're watching this, you was kind, you was loyal, you was good. I actually don't know how this meme works, so let's just move on to the next type of RA. Oh, Steven, if you're watching this, I love you. Number 3. Superman. Well, technically this is the sign for Superwoman on YouTube, but it works, okay? Now, this type of RA is based off my RA, well, my previous RA, because he did graduate, my previous RA, Shane, and I'm not just calling it that because Shane loves Superman, but Shane really is a hero. Shane is the hero that you sometimes need and the one that just seemingly appears out of nowhere. He always had his door open and let our floor know, and pretty much everyone know that like his door was physically open, and if we ever needed to talk to someone, or if we were having a bad day, or if we needed advice, we could definitely just come into his door and he would drop what he was doing and talk to us in case we needed that support system. And whenever he saw me in the hallway, he would ask me like, hey Cody, how are you doing? Or hey, how are you doing? And Shane was one of the very few people that I gave a genuine response to. I wouldn't just say like, oh, I'm okay or I'm fine. If I was having a bad day, I wasn't afraid to tell Shane like, you know what, I'm not feeling so good, or you know what, I've been better. And every single time there was just some sort of internal instinct about him that knew that I wasn't willing to talk about my feelings in that moment, or I didn't want to talk at that moment. So what Shane would tell me is, you know what, you know my door is open, and even if it's closed, feel free to knock on it and I'll let you in, and if you need to talk, we'll talk. Just knowing that option was there, it was great. Having Shane around just made me feel so much more safe and secure, and it made me feel so much better. I don't know what it was, but whenever I felt vulnerable, knowing that Shane was like right down the hall from me, it just made me feel really good, and it made me feel happy. Shane was actually absent my first semester as a college sophomore. I knew him as an RA during my freshman year, but he was absent from my building my first semester as a sophomore year. But when he came back the following semester, so my second semester as a sophomore, he came back flying at the speed of light, and it came at a really good time because during my second semester I was feeling extremely vulnerable and I was feeling not so good, and he was just there, and he made me feel much more safer and so much more secure, and he made me feel better, just like any superhero would do. So Shane, if you're watching this, thank you for everything, and even if like I never really came into your room to talk about how like what exactly was bothering me, just knowing you were there, it really meant a lot to me. So thank you, and I love you. So that is it for this video. It definitely got a lot more sentimental than I thought it would, but if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and press that subscribe button. And huge shout outs to all of my RAs during my sophomore year. You guys played such a huge role in it. Even if I didn't mention you directly in this video, I love you guys anyways. You guys know that though. But yeah, bye everyone.